Hello everyone, today I want to talk about planners and why I struggle with planners and why I am committed to using planners. Anyway, so last year was the first time that I decided to, wait a minute, that's not right, this year. This year was the first time that I decided to use a planner for homeschooling. So the year before that was my first year homeschooling, and I had no idea about what to expect, what was going to be useful, what I needed, what I didn't, and all of that. So it was definitely a learning year for me. And I initially had like this little thing, a little calendar planner from like the Dollar Tree, and at first I was writing everything down on it, and then I decided, you know what, let me use like a normal notebook, and then I was doing that, but like none of those things would work for me for whatever reason. I think it's because I do struggle with like planners as a mom. When I was in college, I used to just write things down like that. So like I would map out my assignments, how much time I needed to accomplish them realistically. So I would like just on a regular piece of paper, I would write like all the days of the week, and I would say, okay, on this evening I'm going to do this, on this, I'm gonna do these assignments. So I knew that I would get it done that week, and I didn't have to worry about planning it out throughout the week. So that worked out for me very well in college. But as a mom, it's completely different because, before being a mom, I didn't have all these spontaneous things that happen. So it's just me, and I know what my evening looks like. But as a mom, I don't know what my day is going to look like. And so that just makes it really hard to work with a planner. Still, I want to be one of those people that uses a planner. I want to be more goal-oriented when it comes to just life, and also especially homeschooling. So every beginning of the year, I get a planner just for my private use, and I have every intention in the world to use it, and then I do like one day, and then I write out things that I want to get done that week, and then I just kind of forget about it. So I think it's because I don't have like a desk or like a place, a routine where I can just sit down at a certain time of the day and go through that and come back to it and see if I got those things done. So I still haven't found what works best for me. In order to like deal with that issue that I was having with the homeschooling though, I had decided, okay, there are this many days left of the school year. Let me just get all of the textbook pages out and sort it out, like staple them together, what we need to do in one day, and staple it, right? And so I'll write like day 114, day 115, and I know that I'm on track because I just gotta get these things done, and by the end of the year, they will have completed everything. And that way I don't have to think about it, I don't have to write anything down. So that's kind of like the route where I could take if that's what I wanted to do. Like I didn't want to do anything with planners. So that's kind of been my go-to plan this year. I had every intention of using this planner. The problem though was that it was my first year using a planner, and it was a very complicated planner. And I thought complicated would be good. It would be good for me. So that's why I got it. It has like the general information here, like how you're gonna use it. Then it had like a section where it's planning. And there you have a calendar. So you have a calendar, and then it breaks things up by, it has a blank. Let me see if I can find a, I guess I'll just show you. Like, this is what I did before the school year, and this is what I thought our school year was going to look like. So it was blank, and you get to decide what your week is going to look like. Time and all the days of the week, and so that was kind of difficult for me, like trying to figure out how it's going to fit in with the curriculum. So here is the reason why I feel that this planner didn't work for me this year. It wasn't necessarily the planner, or that my kids are playing. It was more that it wasn't just because I have a thing with planners, right? I'm not used to using them, but there was this learning experience that I had this school year where I decided I wanted to see if Christian curriculum was a worthwhile pursuit. So I decided to buy a lot from like master books, and I wanted to use like a bunch of other curriculums. And so I'm still figuring out like, what is this curriculum? For example, like the handwriting without tears, or like explode the code. And I'm like trying to figure out, how do these things, are they like teaching the same things? Are they repeating? Is it necessary? Can I just have them like write on a notebook? All of these things. So I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't familiar with, for example, master books curriculum. I didn't know what to expect. If it was going to be a good program, like educationally wise, I'm not sure if that's a word. Like if it was going to be good quality, or how much Bible they were going to include, and how they were going to mesh those things together. So what ended up happening was that I ended up getting way too many curriculum things for my kids to do for this school year. And it was like a red flag when I had the hardest time figuring out how I was going to fit in everything. So I was already thinking, okay, so I'm not gonna have time to do it on, on the first quarter or the second quarter, but maybe I'll have time like on the third and the fourth quarter. I'll finish off with that. So I barely had any space down here where it tells you to write down the subject and your curriculum. Like, you just tell for language arts I had way too many things. I need like 2 lines for that. And then for reading, and then vocabulary, and so that was the problem. Another thing that I kind of don't enjoy doing about planners is writing down like the assignment like every single day. I found it like difficult, not being used to doing that. I found myself like starting the homeschooling day and just I knew what we needed to get done. So then what ended up happening is that I would fill in as they were doing it because I wanted it to be in my planner. But that's kind of not the point of your planner necessarily. It's to help you know, right, what you're going to do on that day. So it was more like documenting, and then at that point when I was doing it that way, I kind of lost interest in doing it because like that I just felt like it wasn't necessary. So there were like some months where I was like being consistent. This is what it looks like on the it gives you each month, and so that's kind of, but see, here's the thing. I started early, so this planner starts in, I believe it starts in July, and I had started June. So already that made it so that, let me open a window because it's so hot in here. I'm kind of under the weather right now because my kids have been, so I'm not sure. Is it me or is it the room? 1 second. Or is it this sweater? Or my slippers? So, what was I saying? Yeah, it was not functional in that you can't really start when you want to start. So I had to like start using July as though it was for June. And that involved a lot of whiteout and me creating like a different system for using this planner. I ended up writing what week I was on the top and what day I was on, so that I could just go based off of like counting down how many days in homeschool. Let me show you the planner that I ended up getting, again from the same people that made that one. Let me compare it. Let's see. So this is the one for this coming school year. And so this one was the older one. Let me see. I heard someone say that it was bigger, but they don't seem bigger to me. It seems about the same to me. What do you think? This one is the one from last year. So they seem about the same to me. Okay, now that I know what I know from this school year, I'm going to evaluate the new one and see if I can resolve my problems. Alright, the pocket is going to help me to have my attendance sheet that I have to keep track of and turn into the school that I homeschooled through. I need to have that at hand always so I can remember to do it. So then the back pocket has a back pocket too. I'll probably store the pages where I'll have to be reporting what my kids are learning, so that way I know where it's at all the time. So that's going to be useful. This year I had it in a separate folder, and it was kind of a hassle to look for that folder every single day. Okay, so it has general information. Again, apparently they have a curriculum tracker. Let's see. They have a planning section, which is pretty much the same thing as the other one, where it has the calendars. And so I have to write down what my student schedule is going to be like. And then here is for you to just kind of see how every subject you're going to go through that curriculum. So I think I'm leaning towards not using master books so much anymore. because I feel that it takes a lot of time to get to the main point. Sometimes it's just a really simple point that they're making for that day, but yet they give you like a whole story of the Bible and a bunch of other information to read, and it doesn't really work too well with my kids, or for me. We don't really enjoy learning by like just reading a textbook like that. So yeah, I think, I'm not sure, I'm gonna make a video coming up soon of the curriculum we're gonna use this next school year, and it's definitely going to be a more like shorter list of what we realistically want to get done. So I think, how would I do that? I think, yeah, I guess I'll just fill in like lessons 1 or something simple like that. And you know, I really don't like to have to write like the name of the book and all of that, so I think I'll just like keep it simple and just be like L, like lesson 1, and that's it. I didn't like writing page numbers. It's like really annoying for me to have to write that. Okay, so that is what I have. And they give you in this book like about 4, 5, 6, about 6 student schedules. So maybe for like 6 different kids, right? Alright. And also, like at the end of that, there's this page. So they have like little pages throughout to help you plan, so future planning. And I think definitely that'll be helpful. So whenever I hear about a new curriculum that I want to use, for example, this year I decided I want to look into a spelling curriculum for next year. So I would just write that down on this section, and I don't have to like just have a bunch of papers all over the place. Okay, so then this planner starts on July again. So I foresee a problem because I like to start on June. I like to give myself that time to be able to have absences throughout the school year, and for it to not to feel so tight. So I'm just gonna wait this time. I'm not gonna use July as June. What I think I'll do is I'll create my own, I think I'll just print out like one of these. I'll just make my own. Or yeah, I'll just like print out something similar to this for July, and then maybe I'll share that in the description when I do that. So that's the only one of the downsides of this planner, that it doesn't start in June for me. Alright, so that's what I'll do. I'll figure it out. I'll create something for, you know what, I just thought about it. Since I have this old one, I'll just, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these sheets and I'm going to use them and change like the date on them, and that's how I'm going to start the month of June. Okay, that's my personal plan. But if you were doing, if you were going to start on June, then you would have to do something else. And it could be something simple, it doesn't have to be the same as that. I think that's just the easier route for me to do, just use those pages, since I already have my plan, so I'm not using a planner for the remainder of the year. I already have everything planned without a planner. So but I don't think I want to necessarily do that next year, because it was a lot of work. It was like 2 days of doing that, and it was so time consuming. It took several hours each day, and it's just difficult. It's just difficult to do it that way, because if like you don't finish a packet and you already wrote down day something, then it's harder to be flexible. And also I do want to grow into this routine like homeschooling, where I do want to visually see what we are accomplishing every month, and I want to check out, I'm reaching my goals every month. So I want to do this. On the back it has student records, a student records tab. It's really cute. The pictures are really cute, like cartoons. I like that. Makes it feel fun. And it has Bible verses to encourage us. So here it has records, attendance, and curriculum. Okay, so here's a really easy way to keep attendance. And I think I'll definitely I'll do it this way, because sometimes you could get lost in attendance. Even though you're keeping track in your mind, it'll just be one less thing that you have to remember. So here's a thing that I don't know if the other one has it, but this one I'm seeing it here, and it's a curriculum tracker. Ouch. Feels like I just gave myself a paper cut. You see it? Curriculum tracker, and so it says subject grade, curriculum name, publisher, source, price, notes, which I think it'll come in handy, especially at the end when I want to decide, do I want to continue using this curriculum or not, and I could just go through my notes, and that will help me. And then at the back it has another page that says additional materials purchased, related subject. So that'll be fun too. It might be helpful to keep track of how much is being spent on homeschooling. Oh, and it has a grading chart. So this one has extras. Apparently the old one did too, and I just never saw it. Well, that I remember until right now. I might have seen it, but I might have thought, well, I don't need to grade my kids just yet. Like it wasn't a requirement for kindergarten. And so it's a grading chart, number of problems, number of incorrect answers. Alright, we'll figure out how to use that. Oh, and it has a suggested reading list. Which might be a good goal to have this year, to read those suggestions. It has suggestions from K all the way to 12th grade. The Way of Salvation, My Salvation Testimony section there. Suggested scripture to memorize. That might be a good goal to have. Yeah, I think this will definitely be something I implement, because I've been wanting to have them memorize scripture, not just for their own spiritual benefit, but it's good to have that skill of memorizing things. You're going to need that throughout your education. Let's see. Well, it has more than 12 verses here. And it has some shorter ones and some longer ones. Did I show you? So it will be fun if we can memorize maybe two of the little ones. At least one a month. That would be a great goal to have. Alright, and then extracurricular activities, contact information, like activity group, leader, phone number, email, notes. Oh, and they have a lot of sheets for that. I guess moms are on top of that. Then you have the rest of a few pages where it's just notes, where you can write down your notes. So, okay. So, in the beginning of this video I said I didn't like having to write things down. So, why do I think I'm going to do it this coming year? Okay, I think that I learned my lesson. I'm not going to buy too much curriculum. So if I don't have so many curriculum books for a given subject, then it'll be easier to just map that curriculum out and not have to worry about getting through it quickly, or we're falling behind, I had to push the other curriculum. It just complicated things that way. So if the more selective I am of my curriculum, I think the easier it will make planning what their week will look like, and ultimately how and what I write down in the planner. Another thing is that I like to track the day of the year that we're on. So I think that what I'm going to do is on the section where it's the actual month, I have a calendar. So I think, because in homeschooling you have to be flexible, especially when you have a lot of just things that are out of your control sometimes, like health issues, or your kids get sick and they are just not in the right mindset to learn and they really just need a rest that day and get better. So I feel like you can't map your school year before school starts, because you're just going to be erasing and you're going to be so frustrated that you have to do it all over again, and that your whole year is messed up. So I think realistically I am going to plan it out, but do you hear that dog? But I'm going to plan it out no further than a week at a time. I'm going to, on this section, on the yearly overview section, that will be my goal. That will be what keeps me accountable, that if I want to finish the curriculum at the end of the school year, then this is how you should be keeping track of the work, where you should be at. So, but that's not going to dictate where I'm at. If we miss a week or something, because if I'm doing the year-round homeschooling method, then that means that I'm going to be taking a few weeks off, like a week off after a certain, what do you call it? Quarter. After the end of the quarter, we take a week off. So that means that I'm going to need to plan that out. But if your child is going to have absences, then it's not going to be that pretty. So Yeah, okay, I'm just going to write down what ideally our school year would look like, but knowing that it's not going to look like that, so I'm not going to fail because I know that that's not the realistic plan. I mean, it would be great if we can, but if we can't, then we can't. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. So as I'm planning the other section, the months, for example here, is this the same one? Yeah, it's the same one. As I'm planning over here, on this calendar, for example, I'll be keeping track that today is day 1. So I'll write here, today we're doing day 1 of homeschooling. And you know, if someone is sick on Friday, I didn't already have day 2, so I'm gonna take it one day at a time, and I'll just write like absence because someone was sick, and then so okay, Monday will be day 2, and yeah, so that's how I'll keep track on what school day we're on. And then on the actual like weekly assignments, yeah, I'll just keep it like very simple. And I think what I'm going to do is this time I'm not going to write down like what book we're using, because like I said, for my daughter, I had 3 different math books. I was very ambitious. And you know, she's almost done with 2 of them. Definitely she'll finish the second one. So that was not necessarily something I intend on doing this coming year. So I'll have 1 math book. And yeah, so okay, if I want to have a future like curriculum choice, I'm just not going to include it until I actually get it. That way I don't have to worry about writing down the math book, for example, and the pages that go with it. I'm just already going to have that page that has my curriculum for every given subject. So I'm going to assume that the person writing this book knows what book we're using. See, that's my problem too, that I tend to want to write every single detail. So that like backfires on me really bad. So I have to learn to just relax with the planner. And just, so for the math section, I'm just gonna write lesson, whatever, L2. And that'll be that. So it will be easier. Okay. That's my plan. That's how I'm going to avoid the problems. And also, I would really like to set up a little area somewhere in my house where I could just sit down, and every morning before I start my day, like I sit there and I go over like just my regular planner, and then I go through my homeschool planner and just kind of know what I want the day to look like, and we get that done. I feel like it'll be so much less stressful if I do it that way versus like having everything in my head. And I don't know, in case you're interested in checking out my 2021 Christian Planner, I got it online, christianplanner.com. I feel like I'm failing on this planner too, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. They have a fun coloring page every month with Bible verses. They have a monthly finance tracker. Did you see that when I showed that to you? Right there. So I gotta do that. It would be wonderful to write down what I'm spending on a given month and to know when to stop. And to have that as a visual for me. And then it comes with, let me see if I can start it from the beginning. Let me find one that's not written down yet. Alright, so here we go. So, oops, well, it already has writing on it, but it comes with your calendar, and it comes with monthly goals right here, as many as you want. And it has little sections like reflection, what blessings came into my life last month, what accomplishments am I proud of. And it'll be nice to have that desk section where I can actually think and write those things down without, like, I'll usually like be on the like bed or something, and then my kid comes and like moves me, and so now I'm upset that like I have crooked writing on my notebook. I kind of feel like I'm a little perfectionist sometimes, so yeah, that makes things a lot more stressful than they have to be, right? So I already showed you the monthly finance tracker and the cool coloring page, and then it has weekly goals on the side, and right there you have your week on the bottom down there. Well, here it has like free space. Here you have daily habit tracker. You can write down anything you want, like drink more water, and then you're like tracking it. I did that on Sunday, or I didn't. So then it has 2 pages like this, where it's a weekend devotional. So you get to write down your reflections, your sermon notes, and this one has lines on it. So the goal of this one, I feel, is for you to be intentional about like what you're listening on the weekends at your church, and just so you could process it throughout the week as well, I think. And this one, I've been using it for like just trying to write down what I want to get done that day. I want to do homeschooling. I want to whatever I need to get done that day. So yeah, I think that's important to write things down. It'll help clear out like mental space, and you just not have to worry about it because you have it in place. The struggle was for me to like, sometimes I'll lose this around the house, so it's more work having to go look for it, and that's why like, oops, I missed a day. So if I can just have it one place, that will be helpful. Alrighty guys, that has been my video on planners, and let me know if you can relate, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye. So I wanted to make my nails for this video, and look what happened. Why do moms paint their nails if they're just gonna get smushed and they're not gonna last for more than like 20 minutes?